All right, so we need to go back here a little bit before we move forward. This lecture is going to all be Holocaust related. There are no positives in this lecture because this is, I mean, you think about all the negative things we've talked about with World War II, whether that's Unit 731, whether that's fire bombings, whether that's just the death, destruction, comfort women, just death, destruction, both sides. This is the worst. This is the worst of it because just the unabashed trying to take out a whole group of people that's going to take place led by the Nazis. So this is a population of Europe map, of Jewish population map of Europe in 1933. You can see the total down there is about 9.5 million. You can look at all the numbers you want. Poland at 3 million, Germany at a little over 500,000, Soviet Union 2.5 million. But then when Hitler comes and takes over, you're going to start to see Hitler starts putting different programming and different laws in place that's going to affect the Jews. And he's trying basically to get them all to leave. Then in November of 38, he puts Kristallnacht in place, where synagogues are destroyed all over. Kristallnacht is all over the place. It's the night of broken glass. They are trying basically to break the Jewish people. Then once the war starts, Hitler wants to kill all the undesirables, as he calls them. I have Jews in bold because Jews are the leaders of it, in terms of they're the ones getting killed the most. But it's also any Slavs, gypsies, homosexuals, Jehovah's Witnesses, communists. He is trying to take all of them out. I mean, the Europeans had anti-Semitic behavior on the continent for centuries, whether that's back to the bubonic plague even, and bombing the Jews for that. But this takes things to a whole different level. Germany had been stealing their wealth for years. They've been trying to get them to immigrate. They've been trying to get them out of there. They want them to leave. They had brought in quote unquote racial experts that said Germans were superior. They tried to put in a plan to deport Jews to Madagascar. I mean, it is crazy. As the war starts, you're gonna have, especially as they move east, where there's way more. If I go back to this side, there's more of a Jewish population in the eastern side of Europe. So after they lose the Battle of Britain and they start moving east, they are going to start putting, as they move east, they're going to have the Einsatzgruppen, the SS, follow behind, and they're taking out Jews and Romana. And at first, it's mass shootings in ditches and ravines, and they're going to kill about 1 million Jews, Romana, which are gypsies, and communists in the spring of 1943. By the spring of 1943. But then there's a change. There's a fundamental change that happens in January of 1942. So before it was killing, it was murder, no question about that. But now, in the January of 1942, the change is we're going to implement what is known as the final solution. The final solution was we're going to try to eradicate the undesirables from the earth, most notably the Jews. So at first, if I go back here, before we move forward, they had these ghettos had been established. And so the ghettos had been established, and especially here, these yellow ones. I mean, it's basically you had Jews, you have to live in this community. Jews, you are going to wear the Star of David. And so we can easily identify you. And these ghettos were established. But then when the Wannsee Conference comes around, then they say, maybe we're going to try something else. And they are going to take the Jews, especially in Poland, and they're going to ship them by train. They're going to ship them by train to these death camps. You can start them here. There'll be another map with them later. But these extermination camps really take hold in 1942. Any resistance to these is quickly put down. Now, people start to realize what's going on, and they're going to start to try to get people out, mainly up into Sweden. You're going to see a lot of people try to escape. But these trains are just moving people like cattle. Once you get to the camps, most famous one is Auschwitz. And at Auschwitz-Birkenau, which is right here. Let's go to this map quickly. Auschwitz-Birkenau, which is right here. This is in modern-day Poland. It's a large industrial work site where it's work. is killing people. They're using a gas called Zyklon B to just kill people efficiently, and people didn't know what had hit them. Starvation, medical experiments on them. They're going to do large crematoriums to hide people, literally just burn them. They will have mass graves all over the place. They're going to test out flamethrowers and hand grenades and injections and just the whatever you can come up with in terms of the worst things that have happened to humanity. Here's where you're looking. And here is some of the footage, or not footage, pictures of these camps. Kids were also most definitely included in this. Remember, they were trying to take everybody out. The Soviets find these first as the Soviets are working their way, because more of them are in the east than in the west. The Soviets will start to not evacuate, but start to take out these camps over time. And part of the problem is these people were so just decimated, and really nothing like this had ever been seen at this level before. I mean, this is literally attempting to eliminate an entire group of people. By the end, the most common estimate is that 6 million Jews died. And it's upwards of, you will see, in about 12 million total. Those numbers will vary a little bit because we don't really know the whole extent of things. But this map, if you compare this to what we saw earlier, note there's about 500,000 less Jews in the Soviet Union. Germany was at 565,000, and now it's down to 37,000. Poland was at 300,000, now they're at 45,000. The Holocaust took a huge toll on the Jewish people, all because Hitler, who himself, his grandmother was a Jew, or I'm sorry, was his grandfather, one of his grandparents was a Jew. He was trying to eliminate them. Things to remember, I hope you remember just the pure, unabided, just brutality that was caused here to the Jews. In terms of history stuff, two main phases of it. The first phase is it's going to be killings and ghettos and Kristallnacht and things like that. But then when the Wannsee Conference goes in, that's your turning point, when it now becomes, hey, we are just flat out trying to eliminate them and implement the final solution. This, in my opinion, is the lowest moment we have seen in human history.